You're listening to Key Decisions Podcast, brought to you by REA Southern, bringing you home. Find out more at reasouthern.ie.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Key Decisions. I'm Keith.
And I'm Ali. So whether you're buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on the property market, thanks for joining us.
Today's topic came from something we've noticed more and more recently.
Estate agency fees. Not that we notice estate agency fees more, because we kind of notice them all the time, but the difference between different agents and estate agency fees. Mm-hmm. So I was supposed to elaborate a little bit on it, that we're the difference between ourselves and our standard fee, which we tend to go in, it's kind of, 1.35, 1.5. Mm-hmm. But what seems to be like a sticking point at the moment is a number of agents are kind of going in at a lower fee, like as low as 1%, which, look, each to their own, and whatever. But it's just, I suppose, what we're looking to discuss today is the minute difference that it actually makes in the grand scheme of things.
Correct. And are you getting a 1% service for a 1% fee, or what it entails when we are offering the service we're offering, we back it up, and hopefully throughout the course of this podcast we'll show you why, the ins and outs.
Or maybe not. Maybe you'll actually see right through us and go, you know what, I thought I had this at the 1% fee, but it turns out
next week's podcast we're now offering 0.75. Please come to us.
But no, honestly, like, people kind of do, like, well, why would I pay more than 1%? Like, and it's a it's a valid question.
Yeah,
it is. Like, because you're looking at it, like, when you go in and you buy something, you're going into a shop, you're looking at something, you're going, well, that one's cheaper, and it kind of looks like it does the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Like, you do. People are drawn to what they perceive as deals, and that's it. Though it's perception, and it's about digging down and trying to find a sort of common ground with everyone.
Yeah.
But later on in the episode, then we're going to tell you about a little project we've been working on that could generally improve the buying and selling experience for everyone involved. So
what's the project we've been working on?
Oh, I've been working on. Sorry.
Oh, you've been working. That project, we can't talk about that.
Oh,
this is going out during the day.
After Watershed, no.
No. So I'll tell you what, we'll jig things up a bit. We'll talk about the project I've been working on. And you've been salivating. No, we've been working. I do bounce it off. And but I'm taking full credit for this one. And I told you already, I'll throat punch you if you try and take any of the credit for it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Enough about that. The throat punching comes later on in the podcast. But so we go to our listener question, which kind of took us to where we're going with this today. So,
and why should I pay more than 1% to sell my home?
Discuss.
Well, I suppose Ali has kindly put out numbers for me here, and of course it would be nothing like the 300,000 that I'd suggested.
I double checked those numbers.
Yeah.
I didn't have a spreadsheet at the time, so
maybe that's why people aren't coming. We're charging probably about 2.5% in our statements of accounts.
We would have vendors crawling out the door if I was doing the figures.
How's it costing more to sell my house than the actual house? I had a good style. It reminds me of Mark Foley when I organised the stag, and he came to the bar afterwards and goes, "So can I have a word with you?" And I go, "Yeah, it's no sense of irony here, but why did my flight cost cheaper than the taxi from the hotel to the bar?" So it's because the bar hotels in Wales and the bars in England. But anyway, so say you're selling your house for 320,000, and our fee at 1.35 comes to about 4,300 plus VAT, but somebody down the road says they'll do it for 1%, which is 3,200 plus VAT. So
did you work that out?
I did. I only briefly glanced at the sheet here in front of me.
Okay, that's all right. So I
briefly.
was right.
You were, yes.
See, Mr. Delaney, I can do maths. And it turns out I do get paid for talking for a living. So double jokes on you.
Yeah. She says, well, she's going to be employed for the next 6 months. After that, we'll see. But so the difference is just over 1,000, 1,100 and a bit of change.
But so you're going to get people going, why would I pay an extra 1,120 euro?
That's a fair enough question.
It is a fair enough question, right?
Yeah.
So why would I pay an extra 1,120 euro?
So what do you think? What do we offer in That should be the difference in it. And like sometimes the grass is always greener and things, and people will make promises that they might be able to uphold, or just like it's, I
I think
suppose,
strip it back.
even
Because it's
looking
not
at
even
what
that.
the sales
So you're
process
talking
is.
about like what you're getting for, like, so people that are looking at a sales fee probably selling their house, like the amount of times that you're going to sell a house in your lifetime, right? You're going to also forget how painful it was in between all those things. So people realistically think that selling your house is going in, speaking to your agent. They'll come out, take photographs. They'll ask you a few questions. They have all the answers to all the rest of it, and you're going to put it up on Daft, and it's going to sell. You're going to have people coming out and looking at your house, and the agent is going to do all the rest. That's all the rest is, like, you don't know. It's a black hole. You don't know what all the rest is. So before you even get to the post-sale agree stage, like, people have a very limited kind of idea as to what goes into the pre-sales process.
Yeah.
So I suppose you need to even bring it back to that.
Yeah, and that's a very, very good point. And so, like, we're looking at several things, I suppose. You're looking at the communication with the solicitor. We were only discussing it coming in here, and so just to find out, is there anything, any issues with the house that even the vendors mightn't have been aware of, that they picked up on the title, if they have the title, even discussing with them, they're going, look, we've gotten in the property, and I know we covered this with Nicola previously, just saves you that couple of weeks that if the solicitor knows that the property is going to go for sale, that they'll request the title from the
So even
bank.
go back to that. Sorry, I'm interrupting for a
Yeah.
very good reason here. So like your title, that people again probably don't even know what we're talking about with that. So like your deeds for the house. If you've got a mortgage, the likelihood is that your title deeds to the house, which is your proof of ownership, is likely with your bank.
Yeah.
If your mortgage is completed, likelihood is it's gone to your solicitor, or you may have it yourself.
Correct.
So by us reaching out to your solicitor when you instruct us to sell your house, we can reach out and go, look, can you get this in order? So you're the likes of your title deeds, any, like when the when the vendor was buying the house, if they have any of those documents, that they just make sure they have them in order and start kind of
Local
creating
property
your sales
tax.
pack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all those things. So that's done before we even take a photograph. That we're just like reaching out to the solicitor and saying to them, "Look, we've been instructed to sell the property. Can you start to prepare?"
Yeah,
sale
and
packs?
it works both ways, because we don't want to take on a house that we can't sell. Like there could be, we've been told that everything's gone through probate. Talk to the solicitor. No, there's still 3.5 months or 6 months left in that.
Yeah.
So sometimes people won't wait. You go out to the open market, and like it's normally a 6 month 6 month mortgage approval and all that before you have to go back for it. So you just want to make sure everything is good and right, and we're capable of selling a house. And it makes us more efficient. Obviously, makes the purchasers then a little bit happier, and also from the vendor's point of view, they understand then, okay, this is why we're holding it off market for a month, 2 months to make sure we cover the probate. That's not an issue, and then we can go ahead.
Yeah. And then, so the next.
Your favourite topic, the photography and marketing. Go on.
Yeah.
I'll sit back here for the next 10 minutes and just let Ollie.
10 minutes? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I better talk fast. But no, then, so like again, a shameless shout out to our media partners, Casa.
It's not shameless at all. They're fantastic.
No, I know, but I just feel like we're just like plum-mossing them at this stage. I know they're absolutely fantastic. Like when, to be fair, most of the Carlo agents are decent with photography, but like when you look at some of the absolute horrors of photography that is out there showcasing somebody's house, but like realistically, you can quite easily have a house 75% sold just by looking at it online, because when you got someone that captures not the house but the home, like you've got people who are actually looking at that and going, oh my God, look, I can put my couch there and I'm doing blah, 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 whatever. And you can kind of, you're defining those things even as you're looking at it. So
their pictures just, they don't lie. Like they set up the property well, but they're not lying. I mean, you'd still get to see that the bare bones of it and all that.
Well, like they'll pick out features that, that you might miss if it was just a standard kind of wide lens photograph just taken on a standard camera or whatever. They just kind of, I don't know, they do capture that feel the cozy feel of a property, and it might be worth €1 million. It might be worth
Ollie is still in our
80 grand.
honeymoon period here in
I
auctioneering, so
know.
don't worry, we'll beat her down.
Never. But yeah, so like we get the photography, and they'll do the drone and floor plans where
Yeah.
necessary. So yeah, once that's done, then normally we'll create a DL brochure, a trifold brochure, and send that out to the vendor for
Yeah.
approval. Because it's nice as well when a vendor can collaborate, or we're going out again. I'm only a little bit desensitized yet, but if we're going out and we're appraising your property, we're going to miss out on some things, like key parts, things little tweaks that you've put in, or if you've got like
The collaboration you were talking about earlier.
yeah. So if you're collaborating with the seller, and they're going to point out things to you like that they think is going to sell the property, or things that they're unsure about, that they're going, well, should I fix this or should I do this? And 9 times out of 10, you're better off to actually highlight it and
Yeah.
say, right, okay, this may be an issue, small issue, if it's a cosmetic issue, and just say like, well, the likelihood is you're going to change this yourself anyway. So
Because it's interesting. You say that, because I had a viewing out in Arles, and the couple that I had out there were saying they went to another property, not in Carlow, and they went in, saw it and all that, went over to the house, looked at the house, and it's quite nice, and then they noticed that there was tape out in the garden. And they asked the auctioneer about the tape in the garden. He goes, oh yeah, that's the site that the owners are actually, the current owners are taking on the thing. Didn't say it, and they obviously went mad, because the whole idea of the house is fantastic, but it was the site attached to it. And I said, well, why wouldn't you say it? He goes, well, I'd never get a viewer if we didn't advertise it. So it's those types of things are, you don't want to lie. You need to be upfront. And there's we've done well. We had another property that the pair of us basically got involved with, and rejigged the property and how to look. I know you're laughing at it, but rejigged how to view it, and instead of trying to hide what we, some people would highlight, we accepted it and went on and just pressed on with the many good things that the house had to offer, while also addressing the perceived problem with it, and that, like, they couldn't get over the amount of viewers we had in it, and I'm very, very happy with the outcome and hopeful eventual outcome on it. So it's
transparency. Like,
correct.
I may have mentioned transparency throughout this series of podcasts, but but it is. It's just, it helps everyone.
Yeah, well, I do think, like, everyone likes that, and you pointed out previously, like, it is one of the biggest. It's the biggest financial thing you'll have in your life, bar having a child. It'll be the biggest financial decision.
Just a financial burden forever. You'll eventually pay off your mortgage. You ain't ever paying off your child.
Sorry, father. So when they have the collaboration, like, we're here to obviously steer it. We'll have the professional experience and all that, like, as any auctioneer will. But when you start collaborating with your clients, and there is just that a little bit more closeness, and you feel part of it, and when you go then to do the viewings of the house, that you can relay the points that they have seen in the house, that they feel genuinely, this is what I love about the place. And when you get that sort of feeling, it's not robotic then, and you don't really feel forced to try and sell a house. You're able to go in and just be a lot more natural, and showcase these selling points that the owners have felt and known. That's why they've had the house for so long and whatnot. So,
but even, like, say if there's something like, all right, I'm going to Arles, house in Arles. Like, I drove past that I don't know how many times, and I never noticed it. But, like, it's a quirky one, and, like, it's a strange layout to the house. But, like, even walking around there with people, and you're kind of picking that out, and, like, instead of going, kind of trying to hide it or talk your way around it, everyone that I've shown that house to, we've been going around and going, like, okay, so this is a bit of a mad layout, and you're pointing this out, and you're going, but, like, everyone embraced it and was like, oh, but look at what you could do with this. Everyone kind of started to visualize it, because you picked it out, and you were like, you weren't showcasing it as a negative, you were showing it as a quirk. And every person that I actually showed that house to, we were just like, they kind of came up with ideas for that quirk. And then, like, the actual embarrassing moment where I got to the first floor and look out the back window, and I actually, like, showing people going, I've literal goosebumps. Like, I kept getting goosebumps. I was looking out the back window. I've never seen a view like that view out the back window.
It is. So that's
Anyway,
yeah.
so we're kind of gone away from the point here.
But that's what like that sort of encapsulates your pre-sales. You're talking about getting the solicitors on board nice and early to rectify if there is any issues with the house. Then sure, they're not going to hold up any sales. So we're front loading possible issues and trying to rectify them and making sure they're not going to be roadblocks when we do go agreed. Then getting obviously collaborating with the photographers as well as the vendors to find out, what are their strong, what do they feel is be a selling point for the house. As you mentioned, like 75% of the house is going to be sold online. So the photography has to be, in our view anyway, and that's why we get the professionals in, has to be top notch, because that is, and I've seen, and I have with other properties, not only in Carlow, but I've seen other properties where the photography has not been up to scratch.
Let down.
So, and it really, really has. So so that's an important thing for your before we even go online, and then the collaboration with the blurb and how we're going to sell it with the vendors. They do appreciate that as well. So
that's it. So you send over, just let me know what you think of the wording. Does this sell your property the way you want it to?
Yeah.
And that back and forth. But then you've got as well, like when it kind of gets to the viewings and things like that, like things that we prefer to do a little bit differently. You've got your viewings. You're not looking at just the highest bid, which people tend to think it is. Like, I actually spoke to somebody yesterday at a viewing, and they were saying that they had a sale, or their property had gone sale agreed, and it fell through, and they got another bid in of the same price, and their agent advised them to hang in there. Now, they're looking at another property. They're looking at buying a property. Their agent that is selling their house advised them to hang in there because they could probably get more for it. They have a cash buyer ready to go above the asking price already after the sale falling through. So that's delaying them purchasing their property.
Yep.
And if they hang out and wait for that new bid coming in that may never come,
correct.
chances are they've lost.
And look, you're only going to antagonise the person, the current bidder, then coming in.
Or that current bidder could find somewhere else or whatever. So, it's not all about getting the highest price. It's about getting the best price, as in the best buyer.
And again, that is talking with your collaboration and things. When we find out why a person is selling, because that's inevitably normally a question when you're doing a viewing, going, well, why are they selling here? Yeah. And it could be for various reasons, and that's so we then know. And if that person is looking to purchase elsewhere and has their eye on something, then speed. And we've had, I don't know how many chain sales over the last couple of years where speed was a key, and we've had to make that decision for the vendors, and we've given them the facts. Going, look, you take this offer, it's on the asking price or slightly over it. Yes, we can hold on for another 2 or 3 weeks and see if we can get another 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 for you. But you might antagonise then the vendor of the property you're purchasing from. They might lose interest, or if we do that, the person that's currently has the bid. So you have to sort of you see yourself where you're trying to what the vendor is trying to achieve with the sale. So, and once we have that, we're able to sort of negotiate. And then, obviously, the other thing that we do, and we've hit upon this before, is the WhatsApp group as well. So it's during that viewing process. So we've gone the pre-sale. So during the sales process, all that information is just fed in there. So how frustrating in every walk of life is it for not getting comms or communication, and you send out an email or you're getting double up or all that. So that is definitely the one key thing we've rectified in that process, where people are constantly getting communication and plenty of feedback from them has been very, very positive.
I mean, it's better to have 430 WhatsApp groups than to have no communication.
Oh, don't get me started on the voice notes. Oh,
it's so funny though. You get a message from your sister and you're going, oh, there it is. But no, it actually is. It's great. It's a great way of, again, transparency.
You see that can now, but every
look,
time
I just every single time, like when I'm looking
all
for
I hear
him, I
is,
say,
and then the shoulder's gone down at the desk across from me.
it is painful, but it's also worthwhile. Like it's really good, but like just the amount of WhatsApp.
And the one thing you had said, and it has resonated because it's right, is less voice notes. I am renowned for voice notes, but it is one or two people might have mentioned it, but it is correct because if you are trying to look back on information or the multiple groups that we're in, trying to realise,
put a search a keyword and it's there. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Can't do
that's important. No, you can't, and it's all well and good for me that it might be fresh in my memory that I've already said it, or Harry might fresh in his memory. But if either you and Harry had told me to go back into groups and it's a voice note, then trying to listen through 30 or 40 voice notes can be a bit
Jesus
arduous.
Christ, especially think of the colleagues, like we have to listen to you enough without going back through 30 voice notes that are all 8.5 minutes long.
3.5 I think was my longest. Thank you very much. It was still impressive. So that would be the sort of the sales process, and then during the sales process, we found it in a couple of times. So a house hasn't sold or hasn't gone agreed in that sort of a 4-week period that you'd be hoping, depending on obviously the size of the house. If it's a 3-bed semi, you're hoping that sort of 2-week period you'd have it well advertised.
It's a sweet period, yeah.
So you'd hopeful to have it agreed by then. And if it hasn't, then after that sort of 2 to 4 week period, what we do next, and I'll leave it back to you because you are as much as it pains me, the marketing guru in the office. Myself and Harry are like two cavemen, Neanderthals. Where's the Annie key?
Where's the Annie key? I think you'll both find it next week. Taking a week off next week.
Do you? Don't see that in the calendar, but go on.
So I mean, it's an overall. So people are wondering where their €1,200 might be the difference, but it is that, like, so on the flip side of it, so if we're putting in that extra work, right? Like that, we're not just saying it, like we've seen it, we've heard it back, the feedback has come back that, even just down to the communication with the WhatsApp group and obviously the photographs, and then we've put in so much into the social media, between doing the videos, doing even just the podcast, or like so many different things to try and get your property to reach as many eyes as possible.
And if it doesn't, though, in that 4-week period, 5-week period, what is our general rule of thumb? What would we do that maybe some of the others mightn't? So cry. Well, no, everyone cries.
The other thing.
No. Remember, it's not after 9. But
Jesus. But we have the daft back in our back pocket for starters. We have your daft advantage ads. So that's always a flyer in the back pocket, and like fair play to Mara. Shout out to Mara. We have she's fantastic. So she'll actually help us to monitor kind of the views and the reach of a property on daft. And we will always have, like, if we've already used a daft advantage ad and it's still not getting the traction that for whatever reason, we have other tools to push it out there, the rocket, and just get it out there to as many people as possible, because the more eyes that.
And even they're just even rehashing an ad, like you're going off feedback that you'll be getting from viewings and going, okay, well, this seems to be the issue. If it's a BER, it could be an issue, or if there's anything that we could possibly rectify, or just even trying to reword it, to resell it. Again, if you're coming into
in a different demographic, we could be looking at this going like, it's likely an investor property, and you've got like a number of investors coming in, and they're just not. It's not reaching out. And then you have to kind of, Jesus, are we hitting the right set of eyes at all on this? And there's a few times that is actually. Come back and we go, no, actually this was
and surprisingly so, like a property where you would think it'd be a full field of investors, there's only
turns out there's no investors left anymore, so oh my god.
So
which turns out we sold that property last week. But so like I suppose getting back to where we were going, so between the better marketing, strong negotiation, finding your right buyer type, not just the amount of money that you can get for it, but like that can help us to achieve $5,000, 10 grand more, and like if we, like, based on the property you were talking about, if you do that, you're already €3,880 better off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know what I mean? It's something that people don't look at the figures. They hear percentages and they're going, oh my God.
It's
like,
it's
so
it's only
1%
cheap
or
if they
1.2%.
if they've hit the same price point. So that's it. So
That's it. And like we've taken that jump
Mm.
a few times where people are like, we're like, okay, give it a go and we'll try it out for X amount of time. If we haven't hit what you would hope to achieve,
yeah.
you know. Yeah.
And then the sort of the sort of post sales, then trying to get it to from agreed to sold, that's where I'm possibly most anxious. I don't know, but I know that's
Jeez, Keith. I wouldn't have put you down as the anxious type at all.
yeah. But it's just
Sorry.
navigating, and like you've still, even though you have sort of looked at before the property has come on, seen any issues that could occur, you're still worried that something that can come up. And that's when I do hear people going, oh, the valuer's got a call to the office next week, you're going, oh great, loan is basically there then if that's the case. So that's always a good thing. And then finally, when you do hear a contract is signed, but that's again every sort of once a week, we have our little step back for 2 weeks, get contracts, and then follow it up. And in particular, one of the ones that we've had at the moment, to be fair to the vendor, they've seen us and constantly putting in messages into the group, and they've now sort of took the bull by the horns and contacted their own solicitor directly, because they weren't talking to us, and have now contracts have been sent over. So, but that is that sort of hand-holding process. It's well worth it because we don't get paid until it gets sold.
Well, that's it. So I suppose, does that take us on to what we were going to talk about with the little project?
Just the small project.
The small, tiny little project that I've been working on, that we hope in time should rectify a lot of the issues that we're seeing at the moment. So I suppose it came off the back of one frustrated phone call in particular. I won't say there was only one frustrated phone call because there wasn't. But this property had been, the sales process was taken, just to say, this is not standard. It was a receiver sale and the bank had changed hands and whatever, so there was an awful lot of issues with this anyway. But the sales process had gone on for well over a year at this stage between all the back and forth. But there was one particular document that one of the solicitors, I won't say, had said that they hadn't received, and I had been CC'd on the email that previous November, and this was March. I had been CC'd on the email where the solicitor categorically did receive this. So when I got off that call, I was just like, Keith, we can't be doing this. I actually can't be dealing with this. It needs to be fixed. And I don't know, I was just sitting there ticking boxes, just going what do we need to do? What needs to be fixed and how can we fix it? So started off as a little A4 sheet, and then I was like, actually, I'm going to have a look at actually doing this. So I spoke to the local enterprise office, and unfortunately at the time it fell between the cracks of the funding that was available for that particular project. So like a dog with a bone, not that I'd be a stubborn sort or anything, but I said, right, I contacted SETU and their app development course. And again, he was saying right, it's probably not my forte, but he put me in touch with the Walton Institute down in Waterford, who are the research and development end of SETU. So Jim Prendergast down there, he's been phenomenal and kept me sane throughout this last year. But having spoken to him, he really saw the gap in the market for it and saw the absolute need. So I guess what I've been working on for the last year, and it's kind of getting to a stage
feel like
now.
we need a drum roll or something.
Hey, unreal, thanks.
That's my contribution.
So we've gone through the research and development. We've got the high fidelity wireframes built and the tech roadmap is now done. So it's kind of nearly ready to go to coding. But my project is called Nest Bridge. And what it hopes to do is to join up the buyer, the seller, the agent, and the buyer solicitor and the seller solicitor. So it's like a central hub where everyone has their own little... Everyone has their hub, and this is like an ecosystem where it all comes together. So the communication is it's in real time. So you're not sitting for 6 weeks waiting for an email, or, there's like a roadmap there. So there's like a checkbox as to what stage we're at.
Yeah.
And probably most importantly, if you've got like a kind of like a time frame in which a response should be delivered on whatever this is, whatever the pressing issue is, be it your pre-contract queries or waiting for a BEO or waiting for whatever. But whoever has the ownership for that, you can see that they have the ownership for it. And if it's not sent across in a time frame, a realistic time frame, you can nudge.
Yeah.
So like at all points, the buyer and the seller can see not only what stage it's at, but who has ownership of it at that time, and who we're waiting on, and who is kind of responsible if there is a delay. So like it should knock about 4 weeks off the conveyancing time.
Yeah. No, look, it'd be
and also
phenomenal.
front loading all the documents. And the beauty of it is it will also organically create a digital footprint for every property in Ireland. So a property you're buying today, if you sell it in 10 years' time, you've already got all the key documents, albeit there is like a time frame on it. But like, you know, you may need to get a fresh BEO or you may get whatever. But all your planning documents, your title documents, everything is all there for the next time when you decide to sell it on. So you don't have the pain that you're currently seeing that solicitors have to go through to try and get
regurgitating
these.
the same things over and over.
Yeah, and nobody knows exactly where these are. You have to request them again. You have to go through all this, or if you change solicitors, and you know, it's all unnecessary little delays. So hopefully, this project, should it ever come to the fore, which it just feels like it never will.
No, but it's got to be great because
not that I'm impatient.
but it'll be great. Like with I know the solicitors are going down wet ink, trying to get rid of wet ink contracts as well.
Yeah.
So this will just the collaboration will be phenomenal and digitalized and kicking and screaming into the 22nd century. I don't know. Or are we still in the 21st? But it's...
I don't even know where we are anymore. I think I'm somewhere in between, but anyway.
But it should, like, again, hitting that sort of the transparency mark, like those foundations that we're trying to encourage, the innovation, transparency and communication, it's all three in one. And I don't see how a person wouldn't be excited about this. And yes, we are.
That's just because you spend too much time with me, and it's like the excitement is rubbing off.
No, look, I mean, for how many months was there back and forths, and just trying how to improve the system, how we can improve in our own office and all that. So it should be a very exciting time, and when it does come to fruition, it'll be very, very beneficial. As I said, I can't see why it couldn't be. So it'll, watch the space.
I don't like that. Do you beneficial? You didn't use the word game changing once.
Oh, very, very sorry. I'm still worried about this throw punch I'm going to be getting later on.
Groundbreaking, game changing. If you just like to come on, improve. Use your words, Keith.
I'm not ChatGPT diplomating you the whole time. But it will be a game changer, 100%, because it's...
That's it. Like, I mean, buying and selling a house, it's stressful enough without wondering, like, where things currently stand.
Yeah.
So if you can remove that from it, and like, you know, the one thing that a lot of people have said to me is, like, you're going to get a lot of kickback from solicitors. I don't understand where that's coming from, because we're not doing it to get solicitors. It should actually make their job so much easier, and especially like as long as the platform exists, it should make it easier and easier and easier as we go along. But like it's something that it's going to shave that time off for them. Like, you know, if you can chat. So on this, say when your contracts go across, there's a real-time chat function on it. So like, you know, what could take 2 weeks pre-contract queries, it could actually be sorted out so quickly, because you've got a live chat function. So you can like highlight a section of text and go, right, blah, 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 whatever, what my query is on this. It can be answered the same day.
Like everyone should want to be more efficient. And just make things easier. And that's, I don't...
Aside from the few solicitors who are probably going, oh, Jesus Christ, it means I need to go near a computer. I don't want to go near a computer. What do I do with this? Where's the any key?
I'm going to ring Harry and Keith.
There's no point in ringing Harry or Keith. They have no idea where that thing is.
That's in the computer.
Anyway, should we move along? Because I think we've exhausted all of that. So we move on to the Walls Could Talk section, which I know Keith had a very funny story that he was telling me yesterday. So I think we're going to go down the route.
Oh, I can't back down this one. Yeah, Fruit Hill Manor, many, many moons ago, we used to do the show houses on Saturdays and Sundays. So you'd open up from 2 to 4. And I had these 2 old dears that were just, I mean, I can't, the amount of times I'd see them and your stomach would go, oh Christ. They had no interest in buying. There was just a little day trip for them and buying any property. I'd seen them in over in Castle Oaks. I'd seen them over in Crossneen. I'd say like in all these places we were selling. So Fruit Hill was a little bit different because they had about 5 different show houses, and they had about, like, there was meant to be 800 houses in that whole estate eventually, and a little central. It was like nearly got to be the first suburb of Carlow.
Yeah.
But so they had this little street done, and it appeared around the corner, and there was a detached house right at the end, lovely spot and all that.
I remember that one. It was looking the opposite direction. It was looking
that was it.
Yeah.
So they'd, but we had a gated entrance and all that. So I remember the 2 women, they were chatting away to me. I was just trying to sell the house to another person that genuinely looked interested, and I told them I'd talk to them shortly, and that it's fair enough. So they literally just stood where they were. And I was like, okay. So listening, and eventually they disappeared, and that was fine. So went out, looked around, closed up all the houses. Wasn't as I suppose. Wasn't as dedicated as I should have been to drive down around the estate and make sure no one was in there. Little did I know that the 2 old dears were down at the large detached house having a snoop around the back garden. So I went in, locked up the door, and I was nothing to see here. I was in my mid-20s at the time, so I actually had a social life back then. Locked up the gate and drove back. I was living in Hanover, I think, at the time. Drove back there, left the phone at home, went out for a few beers, and got literally had about 7 missed calls from Dad. When I looked at it, I think it was about 8:30 later on that evening. So
and I was out for the 2 deers.
Yeah, they were locked in the estate for an hour and a half.
We know they're in one of the new build estates in Carlow. We're just not sure where. So if all the estate agents could meet up.
They are the ultimate victors in hide and seek.
That's actually hilarious. So they had actually gotten locked in.
I locked them in.
Oh, Jesus
so, and
Christ,
they didn't. I mean, we had no. Like, I wouldn't mind, but like I remember
it's
saying,
a bit vindictive. Like, I mean, you probably wouldn't go so far. Oh, you probably would. I'd say you probably wouldn't go so far now. Just a mental note: anyone who's taking
I'm pretty
too
sure
long
Harry had said to them, if they don't buy a house, he won't let them out. So that was the only way to get them out. But so they were in. I think they were in the estate for an hour and a half after I locked up. So that was 5:30 because if I'm not mistaken, I don't know where Dad was at the time, but he was less than impressed with me when I came back to the office.
When he got off the golf course and came back and picked up his phone.
So I didn't actually meet them again, did I? I don't know.
So mission accomplished. Like.
Yeah, there we go. So that was.
It wasn't all loss.
No.
So little wins. Celebrate the wins.
Silver linings.
It's all about perspective.
But they, I just couldn't. I really couldn't get up.
Like, so what? They got up on a Sunday morning. They went to mass and they went out and had their Sunday dinner. And then they're like, right, where are we going to today, dear?
And they were the nicest old ladies, but they didn't understand sort of personal space, or they'd just ask you questions for the sake of asking. I was going, okay, so I really need to be dealing with people that are literally looking to buy.
I have no interest in you, damn it! Give me your money here.
But
no interest in you and your petty stories. Step aside.
So that was that.
You should have just gave them a house.
Would
have been the decent thing to do.
They'd still go. I guarantee you.
They weren't going to be in it for very long anyway. If they're as old as you said they were.
Ooh, probate. All right.
We'll move along anyway. So now we'll reach the segment of before you buy and before you sell, and this is the section where we kind of just hear quick fire tips, I suppose. And as usual, I'll take the before you buy. So yeah, I suppose when you're viewing a property, put on your own VR headset. So you're walking into somewhere. Don't walk around taking in the dingy 80s style carpet. We all know the dated carpets and curtains and whatever. I had such a pleasure of a viewing in St. Joseph's Road going back a few weeks ago, where I had a couple who came in, and like again, it's like it's an old property and it's quite dated inside. And this lady walked in. Her husband was real kind of. I won't say he was negative. He wasn't. He liked the house, but he was just like, "But what are we going to do with this?"
Pragmatic or pragmatic.
Pragmatic,
Even.
yeah. So he was looking at it going like, "Well, you're not going to fit your couch into here, and you're not going to fit this in here." And she was like, "No, she literally shushed him." Which I liked.
They were married, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was it. I knew we had a connection straight away. Like she just walked in, she was like, but she was like, okay, so we're going to take that wall out. We're going to make an archway there, and that's going to open into here. Like she walked in, she took out the wallpaper that was on. Mentally, she had removed all of that. She had reimagined the entire space. She could see like the structure was beautiful. She took in like exactly like I did, walked in and went, oh my God, the high ceilings, these are amazing. There was like just everything that like people were seeing as
your soulmate, basically.
I found my soulmate, yeah. But yeah, like when you walk into a house for the first time, you're viewing 7, 10 different houses that you're going, I like this, but don't walk in with that, like looking for your ideal, your perfect space. You'll probably never find it. You're not going to find something that ticks every single box. So take off that, as they put on your own VR headset, just take out the things that you wouldn't ideally like. You're not going to like the tiles in every house. You're not going to like the kitchen in every house. But chances are you've got a fix for all of those. So before you buy, just kind of cleanse it is probably
I don't know if that's the right word, but
cleanse your palate and just go, right, okay, well, I'm not going to find my perfect. So
go for an emotional colonic, is it?
An emotional colonic. Oh my God. There's a phrase. Okay, over to Keith for his
yeah, I'm pretty sure I met that husband at Husbands Anonymous. So before you sell, and I think we did touch upon it before in another segment, but you do small things to the house, small cosmetics, do uppers. If it's painting one of the rooms, if it's like just trying to frame your house to make it as sellable as possible. You don't have to like in one of the houses that we had, the owners were going to say
to satisfy the buyers that I'm sending into it.
yeah, your VR headsets. So it's but they were looking to paint the whole house, and I said there was actually no point. So I said you paint the whole house because there was a lot of cosmetic that had to be done to the property, and I said there was actually no point in doing that. And so it would have been far better to invest those types of costings in the garden, because the garden was going to sell the house as much as the house itself. 100%. So they did do that, to be fair, and they couldn't get over, because I remember the grass and the place was up past my knee, and just the space that gave and all that. So, and they cleaned up all externally, not internally. They had it cleaned internally, but didn't bother painting and all that, because I said, again, somebody coming in is going to do like the client you're dealing with is going to put their own stamp on it.
Reimagine that space and make it their own.
So you want to you want to make sure, depending on the property size, if it's a huge property, a big property, the garden is as important as the house. If it is a smaller property, you still need to have it's not a neat enough garden, but there are small things that you can tweak and do. If it is painting 1-2 rooms, so be it.
Or even if it's a small garden, make it a space.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of people are doing that. I suppose.
Don't give a prospective buyer the opportunity to come in and go, "Oh Jesus, the garden!" And no matter how small your garden is, you can make it a nice space and make it just make the most of it, and have the person going, "Oh, I like what they've done with that little space. It's not a huge garden, but But it is. It's just it's tidying up a few bits and pieces. And I know Harry is very, very good at that, at observing different properties and just going, you do this, we should be. Power wash it's amazing. Like even just a power wash, though. It's unreal. No. You can power wash your patios and the outside of your house or whatever. Like it's unreal.
You do. You touched upon it there. Like you want to minimize. You want to minimize the buyer's negotiation, like a hand, I suppose. Just that they'll come in and oh, geez, I'm gonna have to, because the amount of times we get thrown ridiculous numbers. I remember one person saying that the whole paint job was going to cost them 50,000. I offered to do it for 40, but so that and to be fair to them, they
You're such
laughed.
a problem solver.
There you go. Yeah. And it's going to cost you another 40 to rectify the 40 grand of it. But it's just you're trying to minimise issues that could affect the house as we see it, because we're dealing in it every day of the week.
Yep.
So it's just small little things, don't have to go over the top. But for this one in particular, I told him to invest a little bit more heavily on doing up the garden more than the internal. So that was that had worked anyway, and we were successful with it.
So I move on to our next segment, which is The Price is Right, which I know you always love. I don't know how I've ended up kind of taking ownership of this one. I think it's probably because you're better at value, and I think I've shied away from.
I'm still taking victory in the last one because it
You're
gave
not
Rory.
taking victory
Yes,
in the
I
last
am, because
one.
Rory,
No,
you
just weren't
gave him
listening.
two.
You weren't
shots.
listening. I didn't give him 2 shots. I didn't.
You did.
I didn't go back and say, "Would you like to guess again, Rory?"
You said it was under. It was slightly under, and then he went down on his valuation.
No, I can't remember what it was. There was a reason for him coming back down.
Because you told him he could.
Anyway, have a look behind you there.
Uh-oh.
There's a lovely property that is based in Newbridge, County Kildare. It is with Burn Malone. And look, if you look closely, you might recognise the camera work.
Well done, Casa.
But yeah, so it is in the Oaks in Newbridge, County Kildare, and it's
It's like a 3-bed.
Yes, it is a 3-bed semi, extending to 105.48 square meters. C-rated property.
425.
Sorry, Rory, would you like to go again?
It's too high, was it?
Yeah,
Really? 3-bed in Newbridge?
3-bed in Newbridge.
Jeez, friends of ours sold their place, and it was a 4-bed, but they achieved well north of that. And I'm going to say the Oaks 395 then.
330.
What?
I know, I was actually amazed as well.
In Newbridge? Jeez, we're going to. I'd
Told
like to
you we
introduce
weren't
REA Southern Newbridge. 330.
Yeah.
That's very.
330.
Like, is the Oaks a bad area? Are we aware?
I'm not sure of the area. I don't know. It
That
doesn't
house
look it.
no,
It actually doesn't look
and
like a
the
bad area.
Next
at all.
door and the door.
Also, Keith,
Okay.
as an auctioneer, I'd like to take this opportunity to say there's no such thing as a bad area.
True.
But no, actually, like it doesn't look like it's in a bad area. It's a nice house. It's not hugely impressive inside, as in like there's not like it's not.
But still, that's
but like again,
like
you're
I
asking prices 330. Think of what you can do with the excess.
100%.
It's cosmetic work by the looks of it. There's nothing that was flagged. They didn't there doesn't have to be any structural.
I suppose I'm
issues, as you
taking off
mentioned.
Nace prices. Like Damien Ward, who I know Damien, he's an auctioneer up in Nace. Both of us were in Nace Rugby Club. And I mean, a lot of the houses they're getting in our own Brophy Farrell, the REA, and they're 400 plus for lots of their 3-beds. Newbridge, I thought, would have as I said, we've seen over in Castle Dermot, prices starting to skyrocket over
like
there.
It is the commuter belt, so
exactly.
you're talking.
And they were like the amount of times we had, for argument's sake, over in Kildare or Ardelee and all that, where the prices on that estate skyrocketed.
People are kind of looking.
They were coming down
outside
from
the
Newbridge because they were
I mean, what would
being
you get
outpriced.
in Dublin for 330? A room to rent per month.
Yeah, but you could, if you wanted, you could rent it out to 24 people like that. The guys over in
Bunk beds.
Dundalk. Well, that's
It's
that's
a
really good.
phenomenal steal.
Now, is it got to sell for 330?
I don't know, possibly not.
I'd love to see where that sort of finishes. But it's okay. Well, I'll have to. Won't be going to Newbridge then. Otherwise, I might go to Newbridge, get loads of houses in, overvalue them by 20 or 30%.
Yeah.
So kind of goes back to why your auctioneer is worth that little bit more.
Oh my God, I never thought about that
There
for
you go.
1 second when I was choosing the property. I know.
Yeah. There you go, Keith. I've shot myself in both feet. So,
So that was
very good.
interesting. So yeah, I think we've talked enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I think we've
yeah.
hit a decent amount of airtime now with and no guests.
No guests.
No, so that's next week though. We are hoping to have somebody in that will be talking about the industry, and we'll hopefully have a little bit more information and knowledge than we currently possess.
Very excited for our next guest. So
Yeah.
we'll say nothing. Just tune in. But no, for now, thank you for joining us again. And it's always a pleasure to just sit here for half an hour and talk waffle. See, I didn't swear again.
You did, actually.
I didn't.
You did.
Waffle is not a swear. Anywho.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
for
thanks for joining us, and we'll chat to you next time. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
You've been listening to Key Decisions Podcast, brought to you by REA Southern, bringing you home. Find out more at reasouthern.ie.